the same level as anyone else. They saw the cracks in the seemingly perfect world and decided that the only way to fix the cracks was to shatter the glass ball and rebuild it from scratch. They wanted to seize control, and they wouldn't rest until they got it. Their beliefs would be that people shouldn't live in a cage. Everyone should be able to control their own lives and get whatever they wanted, even if it meant cheating others. People should be able to choose whether they wanted to be good or bad. They would band together and overthrow the government. Everything that good men and women worked hard to achieve would eventually be destroyed. Whose fault would that be? Perhaps one could attribute it to the rotten nature of humans that some gave into. At first, the government might try to reason with them, thinking there could be a way out, as it usually was. Surely, they would have had multiple attempts by the people to overthrow them or cause unrest. This time around, people would be ready to give their lives to the cause. They no longer wanted to sit home while a bunch of nose-pressed people dictated what they could get or couldn't get. The innocent would be left to suffer the consequences of an overthrown government. It would be inevitable that the government would be the first place of attack. Every successful coup started with taking away the power from those in charge. The military would try to stop them, of course. But when sheer numbers of people revolt, there are only so many that could be killed or arrested. The military would be overwhelmed, and they would either flee from the violence or be destroyed by it. There would be little to no dignity, as people would be reduced to the lowest forms of themselves so they could live. Parents would abandon their children to run, and friends would betray one another. No one could have seen it coming. One day, families would be eating together or playing together. Men and women would be working when utter mayhem would descend. Screams would fill the air as all manner of atrocities would be happening. What would be the impact of the fall of what should have been a perfect world? That's right, chaos. In a world where no one dictated what was right or wrong, and people could get away with anything, chaos would reign. It only showed that humans could not function as reasonable, morally upright individuals without the punishment-reward system. The punishment-reward system, to a large extent, would keep most people on the right side, using their fear of punishment as an incentive to act right. This was once a perfect place, a harmonious society, and it was beyond unrecognizable now. The society had gone to pieces. The once perfect buildings and structures would be destroyed, set ablaze by ill-meaning people. Food would become a precious commodity, and people would hoard and kill for food. Rather than trying to solve the situation, they would want to live for themselves. It would only be a matter of time when food became scarce and the less privileged started to starve. Shouts and screams would fill the air as humans wreaked carnage on everything in their path. Greed and selfishness would always be human nature, exploiting the weak to make themselves feel more powerful. Power. It was just one word, but a lot of great men had sold their souls to the devil just to have it. No one could be equal to the other. People have different sets of skills, talents, and abilities. Everyone has their own separate value system. Treating everyone the same way would actually be unfair. There were many variations on what people want their lives to look like, and it would simply be impossible to please everyone, no matter how hard the effort. The sky would turn gray with all the smoke and ashes drifting around. Damaged cars and properties seemed to be the new normal.